small dynasties such as Kakatiya, Sindhas, and there was one small dynasty known as Vanikula. So these Kalchuris, they occupy the central part of this Western Chalukya empire, and we can see the here I have shown the city of Kalyana, which was the capital of Western Chalukyas, and the Kalchuris were earlier ruling from a place known as Mangalveda, which is now in the modern district of Solapur. So when the Chalukya Empire started weakening, so these Kalchuris taken over this Kalyana and they proclaimed their sovereignty. So this is a genealogy of Kalchuris of Mangalveshtaka. There are more than 18 kings, but we are talking about very few, 3 or 4 kings. So we can classify this genealogy in 3 parts. The first part is early Kalchuris. They were the generals in Rashtrakuta or Western Chalukya army. Then there were some small feudatories who ruled from Mangalveshtaka. This was a person known as Kannama, who started he started ruling from the place known as Mangalveshtaka, that is Mangalveda in modern state of Solapur. So earlier, this place was referred as Biduk Dana in Kannada inscriptions, which means camp city or city where the camp is military camp is situated. Then the second phase was Kalyani phase, where the second phase was phase of Kalyani, when the capital of Kalchuris was shifted from Mangalveshtaka to Kalyani. So what happened? The son of this Kannama or Karna was Jogama. This Jogama was very very intelligent. So he married his sister to the king of Western Chalukya, that is Vikramaditya VI, and her name was Savala Devi. And in return, the king married his daughter Nagala Devi, who was daughter of his queen Chandala Devi, to Jogama's son Paramardi. So these marriageal can say ties, they started a great period for these Kalchuris, and we can see in Kalchuri inscriptions the grandson of this Vikramaditya and Jogama, they mention this matrimonial alliance several times. So this matrimonial alliance, it had started a new era for this Jogama and his successors. So we can see the earlier the Kalchuri coins are studied by several scholars, and we can see there are several coins. Mostly the coins of this Kalchuri dynasty are same as the coins issued by earlier Chalukyas and other dynasties. These are most of the coins are in gold, and these gold coins are manufactured with punchmark technique. There are some coins of Kalchuris which are in copper, and they were struck by die striking technique also. So these coins were earlier studied by Eliot, then Krishna Shastri and Meenakshi, then Chattopadhyay, and Dr. Michener has also included some of the coins in his books. Then recently, K. Ganesh have written added a few coins in the corpus of this dynasty, and there are some coins which are published by Govindaraya Prabhu in his book on Nolambaj. He published these coins as coins of Nolambaj, but actually these are the coins of Kalchuris. So these are some of the gold coins which are earlier published. The earlier scholars have concentrated on the coins which bear inscriptions in Kannada script. But here I'm going to show some coins which have inscriptions in Nagari script. So this is the first coin. This is copper coin of Sri Raya Murari Sovideva. He was a later ruler, and this coin was earlier published by Repson in 1917. And this coin has a elephant rider on obverse, and on the reverse we have a conch shell, and it is topped by a Nagari inscription reading Sri Raya Murari. So this Raya Murari was the title of this Sovideva, and he was son of the grandson of the Chalukya Emperor Vikramaditya VI. And from the times of his father, the Kaluchuris have started ruling. They have declared their independence, and they started ruling as an independent dynasty. So this is coin of Raya Murari. And fortunately, we have another depiction, which is of an elephant rider. And this elephant rider is depicted on a hero stone from the place where these Kalchuris were ruling. So this is a parallel of this coin, but here we have some minor differences also. These are some recently discovered coins. These are coins of Jogama, who was very important ruler in the destiny of this dynasty, because after his marriage matrimonial alliance, this family has started growing. So these were the coins which were added by Sri Govindaraya Prabhu in his book on Nolamba coins, and he attributed these coins as a coins of Nolambas, and he had also described them as coins with Kannada inscription. But we can see these are unifaced coins, and they have a central mark of lotus, and which is flanked by two Kannada Shris. And also we have a typical symbol. Here we have a elephant goad, a composite symbol of elephant goad with X. So this is a typical symbol which we can see on several coins of Kalchuris. And here we have an inscription which is very crude, but from the Shiroresha, that is the horizontal line which is used in Nagari script, we can identify this inscription in Nagari. So here we can read the word Jo. Here the matra of Jo, it's a Prushta matra, and then we have another letter G, Jo G, and there are some more coins which have the letter M. So from number of coins we can reconstruct the legends of this coin. So these were the coins. They have a weight of 3.4 grams, and which is a standard Gaddana weight for southern Indian coins. Then recently, Dr. Shailendra Bhandare have shown me some coins from the collection of Pankaj Tandon, and we are very grateful to him for sharing the images for this paper. So here we can see some of the coins from Professor Pankaj Tandon's collection. There is one coin which is very similar to the earlier coin which was published by Mr. Prabhu. So it is possible that these coins are also from the same hoard of the coins. So here I have reconstructed the legend. Here we have the letter Jo. Here we have the Pushta Matra. Then we have a dot and the retrograde G and M. So we can see this name Jogama was the name of the Kalachuri, we can say Mahamandaleshwara, or feudatory of Chalukyas. So from Mangalveda itself, we have found several inscriptions. Some of them are in Kannada, and some are in they are in Nagari. The Kannada inscriptions are in Kannada language, and the Nagari inscriptions are Marathi, old Marathi. So generally, they have Kannada as their official language, and the end of the the Kannada inscription, small abstract of this inscription is given in Marathi. So in this inscription of Paramadi Deva, who was son of Jogama, we can see the name of Jogama here. Like Jogama Raya. It is a copper plate. We can see the name of Jogama here. So here the name of Jogama is written with Pushtamatra, which is also we can see at the on the coins also. So then the names of other kings are also mentioned in this copper plate. So this is very important. Here we have a paleographical, we can say, parallel of the name of Jogama in an inscription. Then there is one more word coin which is published by Govindaraya Prabhu, and it is from the same place, that is Adoni. This is of same weight and same motifs. It is also having the same elephant good and axe symbol. But here we have a different inscription. Unfortunately, I am not able to decipher the inscription. So we are not able to find if he was who was this king. So recently, one more coin was auctioned in Oswald auctions, and it had the same we can say motif, and it has the same inscription. But again, this inscription is unreadable to me, and if other scholars also take interest, we can read it. So these are the two coins, two types of coins which are from Adoni, and most probably this is also a coin of some of successor of this Kalchuri Jogama. Then there are some more coins. Those are from different regions, such as the one coin is from Kukunur, and these coins, they have inscription which mention in Nagari, which mention the name of Singhana. This Singhana is different from the Yadava Singhana, which we found on the gold and silver coins of Yadava. And here we can see the same motif of elephant gold and axe on these coins. And there are two types of coins. The first two photos, they form a first group, and the second group is shown in the third coin. The third coin belongs to the second group. So in the first group, they have a typical symbol with the larger circle, which is flanked by four small dots, and they have two Kannada Shris, the inscription in Nagari, and this typical elephant gold symbol. The second type is a little bit different. Here, the calligraphy of the name Singhana, Shri Singhana, is a little bit different. The letter Kh is a little bit triangular here, whereas on the earlier coin, it was rectangular. So here we again have the symbol of elephant and elephant gold axe symbol. So these are probably the coins of Singhana, who was a later ruler. He came after Raya Murari Somideva, and he ruled for a very small period. Though his coins are known, we can see he was ruling up to 1183, and he was not mentioned in earlier Kannada inscriptions, but we have a Marathi inscription from a place known as Ambejogai. It is in Usmanabad in southern part of Maharashtra. So Ambejogai in Bid district of Maharashtra. And we have two inscriptions of this Singhana. The earlier inscription is from a place known as Chennai, which is not far from this Ambe. In the Chennai inscription, the date of this king is given, which is 1062, that is 1140 CE. And in the Chennai inscription, this Singhana is mentioned as a Mahakumara or a prince. So most probably he was a prince under his father Vijjala, who was ruling from Kalyana. So there is one more inscription which was found in a mosque at Ambe, that is Ambe Zogai. And this inscription here, I have shown the inscription. In this inscription, this Singhana Deva is mentioned. So this inscription was given by some of his Patta Sahani Docharasa. And in inscription, we can find the paleography of this Singhana's name, which is very similar to the paleography of name which is mentioned on the coins. There are several coins which I have discovered in last few years, and these are some new additions to the coins of Chalukyas. And there is one coin which is very interesting because I guess it is the coin of Kalchuris. So the silver coins which I'm going to discuss are generally confused with the coins of Yadavas. So generally people take these as the coins of Yadavas or their feudatories. But these coins were issued during the reign of Chalukyas, and recently I came across three types of coins which have the names of the Chalukya emperors. So these coins are known from the Nanded region, and they are discovered from a place known as Basar Nirmal near Dharmabad. And fortunately, we have some inscriptions of Chalukyas from this region. So we have three coins of three rulers from this region. This is a place known as Kandhar in Nanded district in Maharashtra. So in this Kandhar, at this Kandhar, there is a medieval fort, and there is one inscription which is engraved on the inner wall of this fort. This inscription is a Chalukya inscription, which mentions the name of king known as Bhuvanaika Malla or Someshwara II. He was elder brother of Vikramaditya VI, and Vikramaditya VI, he overruled him and started his own reign. So recently, some coins of this Bhuvanaika Malla were discovered by me. So these coins they have the same motif, which is commonly seen in the Yadava type coins. But here we have the inscription. We can reconstruct the inscription from the number of coins. The main problem to deal with this silver lion type coins is they have a very small inscription. So we need a number of coins to reconstruct the inscription. So from these coins, I have these 6 coins. I have reconstructed the inscription as Sri Bhuvaneka Malla Deva. So here we have Bhuva, Neka, then here we have Malla on another coin, and we have Deva. Here we have the complete description: Bhuva, Neka, then here we have Malla, and here we have Deva. So again, the paleography of this Bhuvaneka Malla is very similar to the paleography of inscription of Bhuvaneka Malla from the Kandhar fort. And this coin is also from the same region, that is the Nanded region and part of earlier Nizam's reign, Nizam's kingdom. Then I have seen another coin which has a crude legend, a very fragmentary legend, but here we can see Trai. Here I don't have the specimen, a good specimen, but we have Sri Tailokya Malla Deva. So here we have Sri, then we have Tra, then we have here the letter is not visible, but again we have Malla in the last. So this is the coin of Trailokya Malla, that is Vikramaditya VI of Western Chalukya dynasty. Then we have coins of Someshwara II, who was a brother of Vikramaditya, and now we have coins of Someshwara III, who was son of Vikramaditya. So we have typological succession, which we can see through three different coins. Three rulers who have ruled in succession are found on these coins. So this is coin of Bhuloka Malla. So here we have the name Bhuloka, and here at the bottom we have the Malla. These are very rare coins, and the inscriptions are fragmentary, but we can reconstruct the regions. And recently we have another coin which have inscription ending with Bala and Malla, Bala Malla Deva. So there was one recently, there was one recently discovered inscription from Sangli district, which it is a cultural inscription, and it mentioned the name of King Sri Bhujabala Malla Deva. So Bhujabala Malla was title of King Vijaya, and it was also taken by his son Somideva. So possibly these coins are of Kalchuri rulers, and they have then in who was ruling from Hangal, and he belonged to the family of Kadambas of Hangal. So this coin was published by him in ONS 190, and recently we have found some more coins of this ruler Kirti Verma in auction catalog of Classical Numismatic Gallery, Ahmedabad. The importance of these coins is, as we can see, Dr. Bhandari already showed, is Kirti Deva. He was a feudatory of these cultures. So we have coins of feudatories of cultures also. So his inscription is known from Bankapur, and it is inscription which mention a donation to a Kalamukha priest whose name was Vimala Shakti Pandit. These Kalchuris were followers of Shaivism, and we can see in their inscription they mention several you can say titles which are related with Shaivism also. So one of the title is Suvarna Vrishabhadhwaja, which means they carry the standard of or the banner of golden bull, which was the symbol of Shiva. So these are new additions, this type these types of new addition to the. In the end, I have to add some conclusions. So the points we have seen are new addition to the welcoming addition to the existing corpus of Kalachuris, and we can see earlier scholars have concentrated on the Kannada, the coins with Kannada inscriptions, but now we have some coins with Nagari inscriptions. Then the silver line type coins are very interesting because such coins are found in most parts of Maharashtra and the allied region. So these recent in my studies, I have found several new rulers who were ruling during the reign of Chalukyas, and some of them their reign was ended by the Yadavas. So a typical numismatic history of the Deccan region can be seen from the context of these silver coins. Then the third, we can say, addition is the coins of Kirtideva, who were the feudatories of Kalchuri rulers. These are the references which I have used in my work. And finally, I would like to thank Dr. Shailendra Bhandari, Shri Pankaj Tandon, Govind Raya Prabhu, then the auction houses, Oswald Auctions, Classical Numismatic Gallery, Todiwal Auctions, and Bombay Auctions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amol. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Shailen is waving.
Oh, Shailen. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I was just trying to find the raise hand things. So thank you, Amol, for this expose of new coin types. I was just curious that your backdrop here with the elephant rider, there seems to be a behind the rider, there seems to be people, soldiers, and one of them is apparently carrying a dhwaja or a symbol, and that symbol is of
Makara.
so what does that tell us about the identity of that person?
Actually, I think that is that typical Virgal or hero store. It is relevant with some sacrificial suicide or maybe some sacrifice, human sacrifice, because on the panel above this elephant rider, we have a person shown and his head is actually beheaded and another head is kept on his head and some people are carrying his head. So in early medieval period, there was a tradition of self-sacrifice. So most probably this was relevant with the same tradition. But again, this typical Makara standard or Makara Dhwaja, which is in religious sense, it is relevant with we can say Kamadeva. But here I don't see any reference of the same in the same context. So most probably it is a standard of some military or maybe some local ruler. But we don't have the same standard of culture because they mentioned the Suvarna Garuda Dhwaja, sorry, Suvarna Vrishabha Dhwaja. Yeah.
All right.